Say it.
And
come on.
Say what?
We're waiting because the podcast. We always bring this back. Come on, say it. Waiting for you to say it.
Feet?
Yeah, we did
took
it!
it from me, you son of a bitch! I was gonna bring that up, you fucker!
What the fuck is your deal, dude?
Thingy, because I think that'd be kind of fun. I saw the clapping, so I know you're recording right now, Snake.
Yeah.
Like, I can fit the audio together.
I didn't catch it. Nice.
Also, I really like your T-shirt, Sonic. Very nice.
Yay!
Very swag.
Thank you very much.
Oh, holy shit, that is nice.
It's the new
shirt.
JoJo comic one. Yeah, this might be one of my favorite design ones because like this one is legit just completely 100% original and just like drawn with like all the JoJo expressions and stuff. So I really like it.
You gotta calm down with the drip. You gotta stop passing me with your merch designs. It's not fair.
You can get it. I got a discount for blah blah.
I probably will. It's a nice looking shirt, honestly.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Thanks.
This episode of the Combat Kings is sponsored by SonicHaXD's merch shop. Yay!
Someday we might get
as well.
Someday we might get like an actual sponsorship soon when this blows up. I actually do.
This podcast will get a sponsorship before I do. I guarantee it.
I do actually sometimes want to buy like more merch from like YouTubers, but it's just like where I live, shipping is just like basically like another like it's like okay, here's the T-shirt price and here's like the exact same price for just the shipping. So like it's always a bit of like a hard thing to do for me. I want to buy TrueUnderDawg merch too. I like some of your designs and stuff.
I'm wearing one of mine actually right now. Unintentionally, but I am wearing one.
And 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Watch Mojo's Top 20 Best Mortal Kombat Characters. And that's the intro for this episode of Kombat.
It's my birthday, you fuckers!
Oh no! Well, I mean, it would be your birthday.
Yeah, it actually is.
Would be your birthday. Happy birthday, TrueUnderDawg. But also, it would be your birthday when this episode comes out.
What's happening? I'm so confused.
That's true.
No.
Leave the comments alone.
It's TrueUnderDawg's birthday.
It is.
When?
But comment section, fuck off.
Right now.
Really late. Like, yeah. So, like Sonic is saying, it won't be my birthday on the actual upload date. So the commenters need to fuck off with that. No happy birthdays, but it is my birthday. So yes.
Well,
just letting you all know.
It's fine to all say happy birthday just to drive engagement up with the comments. But if you have any other intentions with that, you can just fuck off. We don't want you.
No, if you have any other intentions, then please go to my DMs. I have a very open Twitter account. You can reach out to me, and we can get things going.
The pro Jared approach. Yes.
Well, he is a pro. I don't question professionals.
This is a very interesting start for our episode, but we're the Combat Kings, and I'm SonicHaXD, and we have the two other hosts here. We have TrueUnderDawg, and then the Force Snake down here. And for this episode, we have a very, very special topic because it was supposed to be the first episode we were going to do on this podcast, which is like we were gonna talk about ourselves and like have us kind of ask questions to each other. So the people who don't really know, maybe one of us around here, like, oh, what's this guy's like channel? But what's this guy's like? What's his memes or what's his like favorite thing about and stuff like that? Well, we may have said it on our own channels many times. Maybe some people don't know about it. So this could be sort of an introduction for people to get into the Combat Kings culture. We're 8 episodes late to that, but I think it's better late than never. So that's the special episode we'll be doing today.
I want Force Snake to go first because he made those glasses on the fly, and they look very good.
You just made it on the fly? I thought you had them prepared.
No, he was cracking them like as we were talking.
Yeah, I had the necessary pieces prepared, but I just didn't have it set up until now. Unfortunately, there weren't any red ones that came with it, so I had to use pink because I wanted to match the Christmas colours.
Very nice. Oh, Chris, yes, this is the semi-Christmas special. I mean, it is. We're not there yet, but it will be close to it, I guess, in a way.
We might end up recording another episode in December. Probably will, depending on what work hours are like, because Christmas retail. Fuck, right?
True. But yeah, before we get into the fun stuffs, I guess we should start by talking about What's been going on with us?
I had the answer for this prepared, and now I'm totally brain farting. So if anybody else wants to go first, they can just take the lead. I'm okay with that.
I can check back. Okay, so the four snakes started first last time, and then me, and then TrueUnderDawg. Oh wait, is this true? Wait, I think I'm wrong. Sorry.
You keep track of that, huh?
Is this
Nice.
true, Underdog?
Oh no, that's wrong.
Is it
That
true?
was
Nice.
that was the fourth episode. The fifth episode was it starts with TrueUnderDawg, then four snake, then me. So with that ordering in mind, we should start with. Am I an idiot? Wait, I just read that. Hold up a second.
You are, but that's besides the point.
It's very common to read something and not retain it. That's a very modern issue, I feel like.
Okay, yes. So we start.
Or you're just stupid. That's okay. We're YouTubers.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. But we should start with the four snake, me, and then TrueUnderDawg if we want to go with the more, more fair order considering the previous episode ordering. let's just go.
I mean, let's not forget that one time it took me like 2.5 hours to get through it because we kept going off on tangents.
I remember that. Yes, that was the She-Hulk episode, if I'm not mistaken.
That's the episode where you like straight up got on your hands and knees and like guzzled her toes. That was a good episode.
That's fake news. That's Photoshop. Don't listen to this.
You're the one who photoshopped it. That's
No, he photoshopped it. No, TrueUnderDawg did, not me.
Okay, he did, and then you chose to immortalize it by making it the thumbnail of the video.
Wait, did I?
No, I think he just has his like mouth open, but I put that all up in there. Like I shoved it in.
See, this is the Mandela effect. It's like you think it's true for what? No, he did not. He did not do that. See, look how much of an influence he's making on you guys. Stop being sheepos.
You gotta understand the power of the Photoshop, okay? If people fap to it, it's real enough. Doesn't matter if it didn't happen.
Don't give me that image. Oh my! The for snake. How's your day been going? How is life? How's stuff?
Well, I've got a lot of work at my day job this week, which is a pain because it's just a greeting card shop, so it's small. There's not much to do. You're just walking around trying to find something to do most of the time. But it's fine. In more interesting news, I've been playing a lot more Fire Emblem Three Houses.
I saw you finished it, right?
I did the first run, this 4 route, so I'm on the second one. And it's necessary for me to do all of them relatively soon, not only because Fire Emblem Engage is coming out early next year, but also because I'm writing Fire Emblem fanfics and I need to know certain details so I don't fuck up and make things wrong. So one story has to be postponed until the end of it because I think this one particular character only shows up in this one specific route that I'm going to save for the end, and so they're going to be coming up in this one of these stories. So I need to make sure I can get the details right because I hate getting even like minor things like what month did this event occur in. I need to make sure I get that right. Or the character goes in this direction. What is in that direction? Oh, it's this part of the map. So then I need to make sure it's all right because I am that person. I do stuff like that.
You got to get your scripts right. This is also part of what makes people love your MK content because you love pointing out bad scripts in the MK stuff.
Yeah.
But actually, Snake, if you want to, a top-tier strat can be to intentionally get a fact wrong, because then everybody corrects you in the comments section, which drives up engagement, which makes you more favorable in the algorithm. Maximilian Dude himself said so on Twitter.
Yeah. that is a good gimmick, that you could make it that every video I will say at least one thing that is intentionally wrong. You guys watching at home, try and figure out which one it is.
That's good.
And then in the next episode...
select.
In the next episode, I will reveal what I said wrong, and everyone who got it right will get their name mentioned in the video. So get to it.
That would be cool. That's fun.
That's pretty funny.
I like that.
Well, the thing is, that doesn't really work when it comes to some fan fictions because they have whole different algorithms and such on these other websites, and also when I talk about my stories on YouTube, no one gives a shit. So I've stopped doing that. I've also been playing Fire Emblem Heroes, the mobile game. I finally have a 4th Edelgard to be on my team, the Edelgard. I'm very happy with that.
I think I saw you post about the Edelgard versions.
And there's even a challenge recently where it's like, do this certain stage and have all 4 characters be armored units. And then I was looking through, okay, which character's going to use? Oh, Edelgard, 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 and Edelgard are all heavy armor units. So I can just put that team in and just do it. It's so fun. I love it. This game is but there's still 2 more Edelgards to unlock, so wish me luck on getting them in the gacha. Non-Fire Emblem stuff, because that's all I've been playing for the most part. Like I've bought a few games, but I've not been able to play them, so I need to finish this current route, which I'm about a third of the way through, then can play these other games, like Destroy All Humans 2. Yes, the Destroy All Humans 2 remake came out. I bet you didn't know that, because there was fuck all marketing. I don't know what happened there. Well, no one seemed to know it came out until it was already out. And I love the original, and because the first one was just parodying like 1950s America, so the second one is like 1960s other countries. So it takes a lot of inspiration from James Bond. So you go to basically London, Moscow, Japan, where there's ninjas. I think it's like just one small American city. It's good. I'm wondering what they'll do after this one, assuming the series survives. Will they remake the third one? Or remake Big Willie Unleashed? Who knows? That's real. I'm moving on.
I didn't know 2 and 3 existed. That's incredible. Thank you for informing me, because like I didn't know that. I love the idea that Japan in the 1960s has ninjas.
Yes. I mean, the recurring phrase the characters have is, because who doesn't love ninjas? And they're right.
Okay,
who doesn't love ninjas?
That is true. That is true. Unless if you're talking about the guy from Fortnite, then that's debatable.
You mean the man with his braless wife? No, let's keep going.
I'm not seeing enough movement.
How long until MK characters in Fortnite?
It's going to happen. It's going to happen inevitably. It will. It will.
It'd be a good launch decision with like the next game, honestly. Like if MK12 comes out and they just want to throw Scorpion and Sub-Zero in there for like a cross promotion, it'd be pretty smart, honestly.
Actually, here's a very interesting fact. Mortal Kombat was supposed to be in Fortnite, but I think rumor had it that they deemed it to be too not kid friendly, so then Street Fighter took over, which is kind of weird because they have God of War.
Seems unlikely. Yeah, Alien Predator,
Rick and Morty, which is like, yeah. I'm watching Evil Dead recently, and I'm watching that, and it's just like, oh my gosh, you just see like full on boobs in this. I didn't know it was like that R-rated. Ash Williams just made it into Fortnite recently.
Yeah, the Mortal Kombat guest character that never was.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, it's funny.
He'll be
at
an
least it's
MK12.
kind of backwards, though. Here's the nice thing, though, about that. At least we have the opposite, which is super rare. Normally, violence is completely okay, but don't you dare have any like sexualized content. But Fortnite said, no, Mortal Kombat character, too violent. But Chun-Li, with the fattest dumpy you've ever seen in gaming, she's completely okay. Because the women were already well endowed in their butts. They already had wide hips and tiny waists.
Well, that's one where the person modelling the character was clearly like just slipping it in because Cammy had to wear pants. So
that's true. Yes.
Don't mention Cammy. You make me nervous because we still haven't seen her yet, and she was leaked like months ago, and we still haven't gotten a trailer. So I'm worried like something really bad happened, like in production with her character model or something.
That's become like my favorite Street Fighter 6 meme is that Jury's just like has Cammy's phone number, is just constantly texting her just to take the piss. Like every time there's a new trailer, it's not Cammy's trailer, and Cammy's just there like basically turning to alcohol because she just wants her trailer to come out, and Jury's like, haha, dumb bitch, maybe next time.
Yeah, she's definitely calling her a cat lady over and over again too, because Cammy's been openly vocal about loving cats, and now like the meme just gets even stronger. She's by herself, can't be in the game. And she should make like, how's it going, cat lady? New trailer, not yours. Hangs up. Kim's like, starts drinking like Vegas saying like she can't handle it.
Starts petting the cat.
That's all she's got left. I mean, where are her Delta Red friends? They've not been seen since like Street Fighter 4. They're probably dead.
Like the Delta Red characters are more obscure than No Face. I'm just being honest.
That's everything. I did just remember, there's meant to be a Street Fighter 6 beta starting soon. Are you going to be in on that, Dog? Are you going to be covering that?
Yep.
Interesting fact. Interesting fact. Actually, when I was over in London, I was talking with another creator, and he told me how to reach out and become a Capcom partner, like creator. And so I applied for it, and I got accepted. So I do actually supposedly get access to that kind of stuff without having to like freak out and hope I get a code. So I reached out to the agent, and they said like, oh yeah, absolutely. So it should be getting taken care of. I should have a code for the closed beta for sure this time, and not have to e-beg like Boogie to my community and ask for help.
That's right. You got a code from your fan, right? For the last build.
Yeah, sometimes people get 2. That's why I ask, because some people do like genuinely get sent 2 codes sometimes, or if they're smart, I should have done this. I didn't do this. They'll sometimes create 2 accounts or 2 emails and just ask for it on multiple platforms. That way they have like 3 or 4 chances instead of just 1. I didn't do that. I just asked for it on PS5, which was a foolish decision because I don't like that D-pad. I'm going to get it on PC from now on. Like, the D-pad bothers me on PS5. There's probably nothing wrong with it. It's probably a skill issue. It's probably me. But I sometimes don't get quarter circles on the PS5, and that hurts me. As someone who's played fighting games for 10 years, I know how to do a quarter circle. God damn. I don't get why I don't get it.
It's definitely a habit, right? I would assume, because like that's the newest like controller and stuff. It's like people who are still using joysticks nowadays. It's like that doesn't have an advantage. It's just they're used to it because that's what they've been playing at arcades and stuff. That's what I would assume.
If you want to, yeah, exactly. People who play on stick are only doing that because they grew up in the arcades, and that's pretty much a mobile stick that they can take with them in practice. I made sure never to get good at the stick because that means having to carry it everywhere if I wanted to play competitively, and I don't want to do that. I want to just be able to show up with a regular controller, and then if I lose my controller, I want to be able to just buy one, like at a GameStop or something, and then I can still go. You know, I can still play. Believe it or not, everybody listening, you can't just go into a GameStop and get a fight stick. Like, those things are hard to actually find. You have to order them online. Like, it's pretty much the only way to get them. Yeah. And they're expensive. Like, they're pretty much the cost of, like, 2 or 3 games. Like, they're expensive. And if you want an actual advantage, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask you, I guess that's your next topic. Like, what is your preferred controller schemes? What controller do you use?
I use a regular basic-ass PS4 that I've used for a long time. And I'm sure the D-pad is very weared in, which is probably why I like it, because it's really easy to, like, press on it. The buttons don't fight me or anything, you know, which is nice. Like, I enjoy that. I did like the Xbox more before that because the Xbox has the beveled buttons, which I thought was nicer. Like, X, Y, B, A are, like, beveled, whereas on the PS4, they're flat. So it's a bit harder to, like, get the buttons you want sometimes, believe it or not. Like, I think the Xbox controller was actually better, but the D-pad was terrible. It had an advantage, though. For anyone not aware, like, maybe you're too young, maybe you're a little bitty alpha or a zoomer, but the D-pad on the Xbox 360 was constantly mocked because it was just like a flat circle, pretty much. And people made fun of it for that. But I learned how to use it just fine with fighting games, and it made doing full circle motion super easy because it's so flat. Like, you can just do an SPD really easy with, like, Zangief or something. But yeah, if you want an actual advantage to cheat with, then you would want to learn a hitbox or a leverless controller. It looks like a fight stick, but it has no stick on it. It just has more buttons for the directions. That's actually how you cheat now.
I've seen a video of people being like, if you want to know how to play fighting games, just do this. It's like on that giant like box. It's like that does not look comfortable or like, but apparently it's like really like good at fighting games to use that. Yeah.
It's just the fastest. Yeah, there's a guy on YouTube called Brian F. He's a pro Street Fighter player, but he's one of the few players who actually just bit the bullet and took the time to learn that new controller. Oh. And he's now winning tournaments and stuff with it. He's not like winning every time or anything, but the fact that he's able to compete on that stick after only practicing for like a month is really, really impressive. And it just shows that you can do it. But that's how it works. Now, the issue is you have to like relearn every character. That's the problem. Like, you know, if he mastered Oro with it, and someone asked him to play Balrog, and he's like, I sadly don't know how to play Balrog on this controller. So it's so different that he can't switch. And I was like, oh, it's interesting. I didn't think about it that way. As for what I've been doing, I've also been a little gaming boy, but all I did was beat Ragnarok. You know, the God of War one.
You beat it! Nice, nice.
Yeah. There's like, I beat it a while ago. I was speedrunning that game to try and beat the spoilers. Sadly, I did not.
Oh,
I mostly
no.
did, but some images got spoiled because I don't know who does this. Whoever does this, if you're watching, you're a disgusting human being. The person who puts the spoiler in their thumbnail and your channel's not even monetized, so I don't know why you're going for maximum views. There's no point. You're just ruining everybody's day. And you're not going to get a following by posting spoilers like the day the game comes out. Like, no one's going to want to follow that person. So I don't get why you're doing that.
God of War, all Ragnarok bosses, and there'll be like the 4 like major spoiler bosses and like the final boss right in the middle of the screen right there. It's just always lovely.
It also gave me a fake setup. I'm not going to spoil anything. I promise not to. But it gave me a different impression of what the final part of the game would be. And that's the only part of the game I didn't like, is the whole final confrontation felt like an MCU movie. It like really did. It did not feel God of War to me.
I see.
Yeah.
What was there a sky beam?
Yeah, a lot.
What?
That's
there's
funny. A sky beam.
That's funny. That actually there is a sky beam. the meme.
There's a lot. Yeah.
If that's the case, that's funny.
Damn, bro.
I heard people say the ending was emotional or some shit. So like, I'm not. Oh,
The actual ending, yeah. Like the ending
okay.
after the whole battle and stuff is, but the actual battle itself to me felt very MCU because they're trying to show that like Kratos has changed and all that. You know, that's the whole point of the new games is that Kratos is different. He's matured and he's like gotten better, right? Like as gods, we must be better.
this series,
And that's fine
yeah.
and all, but the previous game, if anyone's played it, set up a very particular like omen. And so like I was expecting like a really dark kind of bittersweet like ending kind of thing. And I didn't get that. I got something else. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. But I was really like preparing my heart for a really bittersweet like dark ending because it's God of War. And it was more MCU to me. I was like, oh. Okay.
Well, like rumor has it that they can still make a third one. So like,
That's what's funny is like you think they would because everyone loves to go for the trilogy. But they've really wrapped everything up in a pretty nice bow.
oh,
Like,
okay,
there's not
okay. They
really
did it
much
this
you
one,
could
I
do.
see. Yeah, interesting.
God of War already did a trilogy, didn't it? Like they had done it before, so you'd think they would be like, well, here's the Greek trilogy plus some like side material and stuff. I mean, they did a prequel, whatever. Then you think, okay, and here's the Norse trilogy, and then we'll move on to Celtic or Japanese, or what have you.
Buddhist
Which is really
trilogy.
cool. Just like, which like just
Christianity
the idea.
It's everywhere.
I mean, that's the meme. Is like Kratos like fighting Jesus.
Have you seen those memes?
Which would be funny.
Did you bring up the Kratos finding Jesus thing? 'Cause that's an actual thing. Does Snake know about that?
That was what God of War 3 was going to
Oh wow,
either
really?
be about or
I didn't
end
know that.
with. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm glad
remember
they
the
scrapped it. It was a
specifics.
stupid concept. I don't think it ever got past the planning phase. It was just an idea thrown out. I hope no one actually considered this. But yeah, just so you know, Sonic, one of the ideas was to have like there's like different Kratos in each corner of like the globe that killed all the pantheons, and there was going to be 3 of them total, and then they're going to meet together at the end and meet Jesus, and they're the 3 wise men or whatever that meet Jesus.
Oh my gosh, that would be such a twist.
It would have been so stupid.
Honestly, yeah.
What's funny too is people don't realize how many God of War games they are. They think because the numbers, there's just like the first 3 and then the new 2, but there's like 5 more in between that also got made. If you actually keep track of them, which is insane. There's been a lot of God of War games.
Interesting. Someday I might get into that series too, just because like people really love that series and stuff. It's starting to become the next Metal Gear Rising situation, where people are just constantly showing clips of memes and like stuff right now. As I feel like I've noticed that.
Oh yeah, this one channel is only doing memes. Like he's only posting shorts of God of War, and he's given them like cheesy titles to get them very clicky, which is funny because like he'll just show the actual clip. He's not even editing anything, and I'm like, oh, he made it seem like he was gonna do some funny edit or something, but he just is showing the clip from the game, and that's pretty much it. Overall, the game was pretty enjoyable. I liked it. At first, I was worried because it starts off playing just like the previous game. And like there's
I've heard about
nothing
that,
new to
yeah.
it. For like a solid like 5 hours, there's like nothing new. And you're like, uh-oh. It's like the exact same game. But then they start adding stuff, which is cool. And they do a couple of like mix and matches with the partners you can play with and stuff, which is good. I like all that. I've heard the side quests are really good too. I've heard the side missions are like next level and they're actually worth doing. They're not just like regular side missions. But even so, you won't catch me doing them because this Black Friday sale happened and a bunch of games went on sale.
Oh boy.
And I bought like 5. So I'm going to be a busy boy.
The Steam sales
So,
happened
yeah.
recently, yeah. So it's like,
Steam, I'm a console peasant. I got that on PS4 and 5. That's where I got all my
okay. So
games.
you bought all those
they were
games,
free.
but so when are you gonna start Elden Ring?
That's a good point. Yeah, I need to start Elden Ring. Honestly, I do. There's a DLC supposedly being announced.
Oh,
at the,
really?
Game Awards.
Hopefully,
so
yeah.
We'll see.
No, every
So it's just rumors.
FromSoft games usually like announce a DLC half a year later from the games, like Dark Souls and Bloodborne. That's what they did. Except Sekiro. Sekiro was the only game that didn't get a DLC, which was too bad.
As it deserves. It is the unwanted red-haired stepchild of the entire series. No, I'm kidding. Sekiro's good, but I think it's the least played because it didn't keep the formatting.
Yes.
All the name.
Yeah, there was actually a great meme someone did. He does like he does those Caleb City style videos and all that. But he did one for God of War, like all the Greek gods meeting in a room after Kratos like kills them in God of War 3, and it's super funny. He did one recently for Ragnarok, but the best part is it ends with like a person walking in and they just have the Elden Ring logo next to them. And it's like, who invited this guy? And he's like, oh, it's okay. No, I'm good. And they're like, get out of here, man. Get out of here. And he's like, yeah, you're all so weak. He's like, hey, don't make us call Kratos on you. We'll call him. Yeah, so what? I had the entire world on lockdown for half a year. Did you forget? Did did you forget who's going to be Game of the Year at the Game Awards? And it just throws down the gauntlet. And I'm like, oh.
Damn.
But yeah.
The only way that would not be Game of the Year is if Kojima put out a game as well. Because you know he and Jeff Keighley are in on that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I was gonna say the only way that the Ragnarok wins is if like all gamers have super short attention spans and are just on the high of the new game and are just voting on it. Like
that is accurate.
That's the most recent thing.
To be fair,
I got a question. Aren't the Game Awards like not based off of? Like, I think it's partially based off the votes, but I thought they have like judges and stuff like that.
I would hope they do, but I know they definitely ask you to vote. I think
there is a most popularity vote like category, and right now it's going.
Gotcha.
Right now, Elden Ring and God of War are like basically Elden Ring, God of War, and Sonic Frontiers are like the top 3 that are going up against each other.
Sonic won, if a Sonic game came out on top and just beat Elden Ring and God of War, that'd be the funniest shit ever.
The thing is, though, people are very, very mad that Sonic Frontiers didn't get nominated for a single category, and people are like super pissed off about that, and that's one of the reasons why Sonic Frontiers is getting like a lot of votes. What's also funny is the newest Pokemon game is on there too, but like, when they announced the nominees, the Pokemon game wasn't out yet, but now that the votes are starting, the Pokemon game is in. So it's like, does that count for a 2022 game, guys? Like, I'm very confused how that's gonna be done.
That's fair. I mean, I played the Sonic Frontiers game at London early.
Cool.
Yeah, and it was fine, but it wasn't like blow my mind. So I don't get why everyone's acting like it deserves all this praise. It's a very like. I guess because Sonic games fans are so normally crap.
Yes.
So this one being like above average is like,
exactly.
Ooh.
What's that Sonic game that's like not? It's like somewhat decent. The Messiah has returned. It's like this is the most best game ever. If you dare say anything shitty about this, you better not.
Yeah, and I don't want to crap on it because they did try something new. So I want them to keep doing that. I want them to keep adding new stuff to the Sonic formula. I also love the idea of Sonic being in like a different setting where he's cut off from everybody. That's an interesting concept to me. I like how the game starts that way. It gives you a very lonely kind of Halo ODST kind of feel.
I guess so.
Where you're like, I'm by myself. This is odd. And then I like to, I'm just now imagining Sonic if he never got back, like he'd just start talking to himself. And because he's known for like roasting people and he's the only one around, he'd start like roasting his imaginary friend or roasting himself. He'd have like a Wilson volleyball. That's what I'm picturing.
Those robots in the game, they don't really talk back anyway, so he just starts, haha, you're not very good at this, are you? And like no silence. Yeah, man, totally.
Weirdly enough, that sounds like something that the live action movies would do.
Mm-hmm.
I could totally see the Ben Schwartz Sonic doing something like that.
Yes.
Where he's just got like a ball and he's just roasting it.
Well, I mean, Jim Carrey does that in the movie, right? Like the recent one.
Yeah, with the mushrooms.
Yes, he does.
He literally does that, yeah.
And now I have a bizarre desire to taste what a coffee mushroom would be like, or like mushroom coffee. I have a strange desire to like taste such a horrible concoction.
Could be interesting.
Speaking of mushrooms, that new Mario trailer, eh?
Hey. Okay, sure. What do you guys? What do you guys feel about it?
Jack Black killing it.
Yes.
Everyone else kind of like phoning it in, but Jack Black killing it.
I'm fine with Charlie Sheen's Luigi though. I feel like he's trying to.
I didn't even hear that yet. Was there a second Mario trailer?
Oh, you didn't know? That's what Snake is talking about. There's a second trailer that has Princess Peach, Luigi, Donkey Kong all in it.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. I didn't know about that. Dang. Spoiler. 14 this time, though. Because apparently everyone keeps talking about how Princess Peach was 14 in the first game, and Mario was like 40.
I've never heard about this.
Thinks that fictional characters are real.
She's definitely an adult. Like she's definitely like yeah. I don't think that I've never heard about that Princess Peach's 14 thing.
Yeah, no, it's because like Twitter won't let anything die, and they want to constantly create drama where there is none, right? Which in a way is funny now because Twitter is actually like more balanced with like different perspectives. So those people get like checked, so it's way more fun. Like they get roasted back. Before they would just say stupid stuff and nothing would happen. Now they get like replies and they can't handle it. But yeah, apparently, like in the original game, it was also like hinted that Mario might be the villain. That game was trying to be way more meta than people realized, like the very first game.
Interesting.
But he was much older in the art too. Like Mario does look old, but I think the idea was that he's like coming out of retirement to save the day. He was supposed to be kind of like an underdog in that regard, right? But Princess Peach was supposed to be like just becoming princess, I guess, which is why she's super young. But yeah, I don't know.
But
I'm making like hand gestures, so I thought you wanted to say something.
No, you said underdog, so I just pointed at the camera. That's all.
Oh, because I'm an underdog, yeah. I mean, I won't lie. I know it's on brand, but I've just genuinely always liked characters like that are the underdog.
Oh, okay,
you know?
okay.
So, it's fair.
That's cool. You were going to say something, Snake?
I got a hit tweet out of it. It's got like 700 plus likes.
Oh,
the
nice.
Mario movie?
Yeah, because someone asked, I commented on how the trailer makes it look like it's just like a random grab bag of Mario things. Like they have Mario Kart in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, that seems so out of place. And so I was like, this just seems like a random grab bag. And someone replied to that asking basically what I thought about. I think they asked me about what I thought about the voice acting and such. Because or about Bowser. It was about Bowser, I think, because I mentioned that Chris Pratt sounds wrong for Mario. And I said that Jack Black sounds like he auditioned for the part and won it, whereas Chris Pratt sounds like he was cast before the script was written. And people seem to agree with that take. So, yay me.
TrueUnderDawg,
I think the issue, yeah, go ahead.
Because the first trailer that came out, you don't hear a lot of Chris Pratt, and people already didn't like it. I was kind of on the board of like, let's hear a bit more. And this second trailer came out, and I'm just like, I'm done. I'm not even. I really can't. This is Chris Pratt is just doing Chris Pratt, nothing else. That's just
so
his
here's
voice.
the thing. I may have a devil's advocate perspective on
this should be
that
fun.
because I haven't heard it. Here's the thing, right? If they wanted him to sound like Mario, they would have just cast the Mario voice actor. I really think they're trying to use Chris Pratt to get asses in seats.
Oh yeah, for
because
sure.
he's Star-Lord and sells all these tickets. So I can guarantee you, even if he had a spot on Mario impression, they probably told him, "Hey, no, sound more like Chris Pratt." Because we picked Chris Pratt.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
We want
here.
Chris Pratt. Yeah, I think they wanted that. I think 100%. They know they're going to get some boomers, like some older parents who like don't know Mario very well, but they recognize Chris Pratt and they go, "Oh, I want to watch that movie." And I didn't think those people exist, but having like watched films with my family, yes, there are tons of people who will like spot the actor who's voice acting the character, and that's why they will see the movie. I've witnessed it like personally, so I think that's what they're doing.
So the company that's making this movie, Illuminations, is one of those 3D animated like studios that I kind of despise. Because
the Minions people.
Yes, because their movies are. I've heard some people talk about this more in depth, but long story short, like I watch their movie and I have three things that I feel about them, and it's always the same. It's safe, cute, and mediocre. Every one of their films. That's just how I feel about them. And like the animation that they do is actually way more cheapened compared to like Pixar, Disney, DreamWorks stuff nowadays, because half of the budget they use is all into marketing. It is completely just shoved everything into marketing, like advertisement on YouTube, advertisement on TV, signs. I've seen buses near me, and then you can see the latest movie that came out. And also, like you said, like almost every single one of their movies has some sort of famous star voice acting, like the exact example. I have an exact example too. It's like one of my cousins was like, "Oh, I didn't really care about this movie until I heard that Cumberbatch is voicing the Grinch. Then I was so interested in watching the new was the Grinch movie. And I was like, yep,
yeah,
exactly." But
People despise that movie. I thought it was fine.
I meant like I don't think that's the thing. Like their movies are all like fine. It's all
very,
like
very standard. Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You're right about that. But the only problem is Pixar and Disney Animation are also dropping the ball lately. Like so many animated films that are coming out are just like they're all 5s and 6s.
Yes and no.
None of them have been impressive. Like,
yeah.
Have y'all seen the flop that Disney had recently? The biggest animation flop in their entire career?
I'm waiting for it to be on Disney Plus, so no.
It's called Strange World.
I'm not gonna watch it in the
or
theater.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And it flopped so hard. It's flopped harder than Treasure Planet, which was like their previous worst ever like disaster.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. Yeah, so like that movie flopped. And I won't lie, the setting seemed interesting enough. The reason I didn't want to see it is it had all the tropes that I've seen in a bunch of recent things. And I'm tired of the trend. Oh, we get it. The male lead is super weak. There's a strong physical buff mommy who helps them throughout the journey because he's weak. Don't you like the role reversal? But he's still strong in different ways. He's in touch with his feelings. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Steven Universe. Yeah, whatever. I get it. That's how I felt about it. I was like, it's probably a fine movie, but I'm just so tired of that trope. I like strong female characters. I really do. But I hate when there's not a single strong male character at all. Like, just put him somewhere in there. Like, give the kids something.
Yeah, it's one of those things that really bugs me about a lot of stuff that is aimed at women, is it does something that media aimed at men doesn't do, which is media aimed at men does not shit on women. It doesn't have all the female characters be just incompetent or arsehole-ish, but like so much female media, like female Ghostbusters is the Ghostbusters comparison is like the ultimate one. Like you had characters, like you had Dana in the original.
Say it.
You had
Come on.
say what?
We're waiting because the podcast. We always bring this back. Come on, say it. I'm waiting for you to say it.
Feet?
No, well, I meant like, why would you say feet exactly? What show would like prompt you to want?
Oh, She-Hulk.
Yeah,
oh.
we did it. The bi-weekly She-Hulk topic brought back.
Yeah, but Ghostbusters is the pinnacle example because it has the direct comparison to the original that it's remaking. Where that one you had Dana, you had what's her name, the receptionist who didn't take the shit. You had women in the movie, and they weren't like bad characters or bad people. Mm-hmm. Like they were well written, and because that film didn't go out of its way to shit on women, so it feels like the 4 leads being men is just incidental. Like it's not the point of the film. Whereas the female version, they're all women intentionally, very specifically, and then every man in the movie is an idiot, an asshole, or both, and like. Why is women's media like this? Why is it so consistent in just hating men, except for the ones who are like soft boys who are I'm in touch with my feminine. No, like I'm not like other guys kind of guy.
Uh-huh.
Even though like, that's the kind of guy I feel like most women would be like, I'm staying away from you. You have fucking serial killer vibes. 'Cause there's one of those in She-Hulk, and it's just. It's so tiring, and that's why a lot of media aimed at women it just doesn't work, and I think it's why a lot of it fails. Is because it's so predictable and kind of aggressive in who it does and does not like. Whereas media aimed at men, by and large, can be enjoyed by anybody.
Yeah, and their target audience doesn't even like that most of the time. Most women that I know, having grown up in a family of mostly women, they don't like a movie that craps on guys because they like guys. Like they don't want you to just roast them the whole time. And I think when it became the most obvious was like the Lightyear movie, because Buzz Lightyear is known for being like the one who's very overly analytical, the one who's very by the books, right? You would think if like his role in the film would be to be the smart one, you would think that, but they still gave him a person above him, a superior officer that makes his choices for him and usually makes the better decisions, and he's still the fuck up. And I'm like, how is Buzz Lightyear the one who's messing up all the time? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, his whole character, even in the first Toy Story, is that, like, he's very, like, no-nonsense, straight-edge, like, stoic character. Like, why is he the one being goofy and making mistakes and being stupid? Like, that was the straw that, like, broke my back. I was like, wait.
I didn't watch Lightyear, but, like, isn't it supposed to be,
good.
like,
It ruined Zurg.
Origin? Isn't it his origin story, if I'm not mistaken?
Well, from what I understand, like, it opens with a text saying that, like this was a movie from like the 70s or something, and Andy saw this on TV, and like I think Buzz Lightyear Star Command is and the Buzz toy are like a reboot of that, but like the original is this, and I'm there like, are you seriously trying to convince me that there was a sci-fi movie in like the 1970s where the main character had a black lesbian commanding officer? I don't think that would have flown in the 1970s somehow. You know what I mean? Like, so ironically enough, I guess like the Russian version that cuts out the lesbian stuff is a bit more realistic for the time period. But
another roast I saw too was that Andy wouldn't even look up to Buzz Lightyear if that was the film that like inspired the toy line, because Buzz is such a bumbling idiot for like most of the film. But here's my issue, right? Because you're right, Sonic, that it is him before, and like you could argue, it's him building up to being Lightyear. But still, it would be like that show Young Sheldon, which I haven't watched, right? But I assume in Young Sheldon, he still acts like Sheldon. I assume he's still like the smartest guy in the room. I assume that he's still like obnoxious and like overbearing with his knowledge and intrusiveness. I imagine, because it'd be really odd if I watched the Sheldon prequel and he was just not smart and suddenly respected everyone's personal space and boundaries. That'd be really odd. And that's what happens in the Lightyear movie to me. But they ruined Zurg. That was the main breaking point for me. I was watching it with my girlfriend at the time, and I was like, how did they find a way to ruin Zurg? He's just a robot. Like, it's not that hard. Like, how they find a way to ruin Zurg, and they did. They destroyed him, like, decimated. I was like... But yeah.
I got to that point in the film, and I was like... I think it always had this kind of vibe to it, but especially at that point, it doesn't feel like this is the old incarnation that the stuff you know was rebooted from. This feels like a reboot. So, and like, this would have made so much more sense if it was just that. This is a reboot movie in the Toy Story universe that came out like after Toy Story 4.
Yeah. They can't say it's what inspired the toys, because Toy Story 2 actively contradicts that. I just realized. There's that scene that makes fun of Star Wars, where they have a Darth Vader Luke moment where it's revealed that Zurg is Buzz Lightyear's father.
Yeah.
And the film does not do that. So they can't pretend that inspired the toys, because why would the toy think he's Lightyear's dad if he's not? Like, why would he suddenly think that?
Well, like what Snake said, didn't they, like, the movie came and then the spin-off cartoon probably came from that spin-off cartoon?
Oh.
Then.
No, because in the spin-off cartoon, he's just a robot.
Yeah, the show never...
Buzz Lightyear, Star Command?
No,
yeah.
they do reference it once, which is where Zurg just says, like, I'm your father, and Buzz like, really? And then Zurg just uses that to, like, sucker punch him and get away. That's the one time they bring it up.
Nice.
I can't recall it happening. But they've changed that dynamic for this movie. I'm not going to say how, but it's done in such a way where you can't imagine that being reimagined as Zurg is Buzz's father, more the inverse. In fact, they even reference the idea, the original concept where Zurg was Buzz's father. So it's basically they reference that, and then it's like, no, that's basically silly. And so it doesn't feel like this could have possibly come first. It's such a weird way they've done it. I think if they hadn't even said anything at all, they just said, here's a Buzz Lightyear movie, some things are a bit different, and it is what it is. People would just be like, oh, whatever, it's probably just like a reboot in universe, which would fit. Yeah. I mean, this would have been a great opportunity, I think, to actually just take the piss out of modern reboots. Just be like,
really cool.
Everything gets rebooted, everything gets regurgitated. Here's this, like, toy line from, like, the 2000s getting rebooted as a big budget movie now. And they could have all the silly tropes like the sky beam and all that stuff, and it could have been a really good film instead of just.
I heard it's just boring.
It's fine. I'd rather just watch Toy Story.
Yeah,
and Buzz Lightyear.
It's a pretty boring movie, and I actually wrote one part. Go ahead.
Buzz Lightyear Star Command had a better cast.
Oh yeah, I was super mad. When they first showed the trailer for Lightyear, I was like a bit impressed that they were going for like a hyper realistic like style for
It seemed like a more interesting or serious tone story. Yeah.
Yeah. But even so, like, I was still a teacher back then. I, like, told my class, I'm like, did y'all ever see the cartoon show? And I just showed them the image of, like, how the team looks. I'm like, this is, like, the coolest show, like, ever from my childhood. Like, this squad, all of them are different. They all add something to the team. It's actually a very well-designed, like, team. Like, the writers did a good job making sure each one has a different thing they bring to the team, right? It's well done. And I said, however good or bad this Lightyear movie is, I'll always be wondering why they didn't just... this. Like, why not just adapt like this? It was already there, and they could have just made that more serious. That's what I would have thought happened. But here's a funny thing too. Just I gotta get it off my chest because I've been thinking about it.
All right.
So in the Lightyear film, this is not really a spoiler, honestly, because you won't be like twisted by this. Okay. All the robots that show up, all the enemy robots that show up, they only say Zurg. That's all they can say. They go Zurg.
Okay.
Zurg, and it seems goofy. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, holy shit. Are they doing like a dark side thing where like they only say Zurg because Zurg is like God to them? So everything is Zurg, everything is dark side is. That's what I thought. I'm like, oh, that's kind of creepy. Like they only say Zurg because that's all they think about is like their God, and like Zurg is the god of the machines or whatever. No, turns out the big reveal to that is they can't say his actual name, so they default to Zurg.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, great.
Very cute.
That's strike one, writers. You've already killed Zurg in one way by saying his name means nothing. I haven't been this let down since Han Solo's name was because he was by himself. I haven't been this let down in a while.
I'm hearing the TrueUnderDawg lore, like the moments that he got let down. Okay, and then number 3 was when Zeus was fat in the Thor movie. Okay, cool.
That did bother me. See, people act like I'm like getting conservative. I'm not. I'm always a centrist, but I'm just being beaten down little by little by these artistic changes and these creative decisions that are whittling me down and making me into a boomer way sooner than I should be. Like, my cynicism has reached, like, level 40 when I'm only not even 30 years old yet, but I have the cynicism of a 45-year-old man. So
I haven't been let down by Buzz Lightyear since the Buzz Lightyear Star Command game on the PlayStation didn't have him use his arm laser, he carried a pistol.
That is funny. That is funny. I can't believe that.
Lightyear is strapped.
I will say something about the Buzz Lightyear show. I remember watching bits and pieces of it when it was airing on TV, like a long time ago. But I will say this though, I rewatched the movie like 5-6 times when I was a kid, and I loved it back then. Like the movie version of that show.
Whereas like the first few episodes edited together, but they actually managed to get Tim Allen in. It was him who played him, right? He played him just for that version, but for the normal TV version of those episodes, it was still Patrick Warburton who played him elsewhere. And Patrick Warburton is probably my favourite Buzz. He's so good in that role.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. And like Chris Evans is fine, but he doesn't feel like Buzz. Unfortunately, it's another one of those. Let's get a big celebrity.
I will say he tried harder than Chris Pratt, though. He did sound more like Buzz Lightyear than Chris Pratt sounds like Mario. To tie it all together,
let's get all the MCU actors, people like get them into these animated movies as established characters.
That's true.
Chris Evans is trying, like. I mean, he works for this interpretation of the character, I suppose, and maybe Chris Pratt will as well, but. Yes, doubt it.
You know, it's funny. Everyone talks about how Robert Downey Jr. was saved by the Iron Man role because before that breakout movie, like he was on the last end of his like ropes.
I've heard about that. Yeah,
both like mental state and like he was going to be kicked out of Hollywood, pretty much like blacklisted and all that. Mm-hmm. But no one talks about how saved Chris Evans was. That man used to be the Human Torch.
Yep.
That's what he was known for.
Yep.
And now everyone's forgot because Captain America took over so hard.
Yep.
That they've forgotten that he was once the terrible version of the Human Torch.
Flame on!
Who had torched on his license plate.
to be fair, he was one of the big highlights of those films. One of the best things in them. I'd say. I think he and Ben, like their dynamic was pretty well done. And like those two were collectively were the highlights of those films. I like a lot of the stuff. I think the films aren't that bad, but. You know, obviously, we can do better. Even back then, we could have done better.
I barely remember.
Well, they're also, ironically, though, the best version of Mr. Fantastic now. Just because of what happened in the one movie.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
I barely remember anything about the original Fantastic Four movies, but I just remember as a kid, I rewatched the first one a bunch of times, so I must have liked it back then. But, like, yeah, now looking back at it, it does... It's definitely a different
The only thing
angle.
I didn't like... Was this in the first movie or the second movie when they threw all their powers into Johnny Storm and he became like a Super Skrull?
Second one.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
At least they waited until the second film to do that nonsense. I think everyone's issue with the first movie now is that it has a very slow burn. Like, they use their powers very little in the whole movie, and then at the end they finally do a Fantastic Four thing where they all team up. And I guess they wanted to see that earlier in the film and see it happen multiple times. But I think for what it's worth, like, I think the Fantastic Four film is just fine. Like, it's completely tolerable as a movie.
Probably. Yeah.
It didn't offend me, at least. It didn't, like, break my heart. They got Dr. Doom wrong, but at least, like, he hates Reed Richards. They got that part right. At least he has history with the team. Got that part right. At least he turned Ben Grimm human. That's also from the comics. He once did that just to dunk on Reed.
Yeah.
Just to dunk on Reed.
That reminds me of... it's gone. Never mind.
So, I can close out something here because we were talking about... Geez, how did we got from... I'm talking about Illuminations and then like we got to Lightyear. But what I want to say is definitely... I think the 3D animated like movie genre nowadays is definitely a lot more bumpy compared to like... I would say before 2010, it's just like Pixar is always just putting out like masterpiece after masterpiece after masterpiece. And this has been a topic that's been going around and stuff. But I will say 2022, I think, is pretty good for 3D animated movies. Like... Encanto was last year, but I like Turning Red. Like that movie was really good. And then like DreamWorks put out the Bad Guys movie, which like people love the art style because like that art style looks so awesome. Thanks and like they're making the Puss in Boots sequel with that like similar art style too. And people are like, oh, this is cool. Like I like what they're doing with this art style instead of just giving us the same Disney Pixar style like shenanigans again and again. So I think we are living more in the Wild West where it's just like sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can just be blah.
Yeah. Which I guess has some novelty to it, but I just miss when they were always bangers. I miss how, like, back when a Disney film came out, you knew it was going to be a banger.
Pixar. Disney is still hard to say, yeah.
Well, Disney made good stuff, too. Disney made Mulan and Hercules and
okay,
Little Mermaid and all that stuff. So
I'm talking about 3D animations, but 2D animations, yeah, for sure. Those are like the classics.
Sorry,
yeah,
I meant
sure.
animation in general, yeah.
Yeah,
well, They did Tangled, Frozen, that's all Disney.
Okay, that era
2.
of Disney is also like Tangled is really good. Yeah, I like that movie.
It's got some of the best animation you'll see in terms of like character movement and keyframing. I don't mean like CGI effects or anything like that, but it's got like the best character animations you'll probably see.
The horse.
I like it too. Oh,
What?
pause.
Yeah, the horse in
the
The horse. Yes.
The horse is better animated than any character in Frozen.
The best character in the movie. I would say probably throughout 2010 and throughout 2021. Like Disney still did pretty good stuff, and like the bangers would be Tangled, Wreck-It Ralph, and Zootopia. I think those are like all really good still, in my opinion.
The only thing I hated about Tangled that I've gotten a bit softer on it, but the one thing I'll never forgive Tangled for is they speak like they're in the 21st century. And that really bothered me, given the setting. I wanted them to like still pretend they're in that time period. You can still make jokes and stuff, but like at least have the, the expressions and the jargon from back then, like ye.
Did
and
they
stuff,
do that in
but
Hercules
they really don't.
too? The animated movie, because like in the very beginning of that movie, they were like,
kinda.
we're gonna make this more modernized and fun. So that's a reason for there.
Yeah.
I guess they just kind of.
I guess you're right. They're never really in the right period, are they? They always just do it like as modern day, I guess.
Yeah, like
maybe
Moana
Beauty and the Beast is the only one that didn't, because they kind of talk like they're in that time period, I guess.
Oh, okay. Okay.
At least in the sense that, like, women don't read books. What are you doing, Belle? Slaps it out of her hand. That's what they do in the original, like, animated film, pretty much.
And it's so funny because that is just so ridiculous and over the top. And then you look at the live action version, it's equivalent, and you're like, oh no, the animated version was fucking subtle compared to this.
Did you watch that?
I'm
very curious.
It's like because like, Belle's trying to teach this like young girl to read, and there's some guy some random guy just sees. It's not even like Gaston or anyone. It's just some guy that like sneers at her, going like, "A woman reading isn't one of them enough?" It's like, what the fuck is your deal, dude?
That's like the incarnation of that meme where it's like person just existing, and then someone else just like glaring at them for living their life, like just can't handle them doing their thing. But yeah, I guess we can like finally segue into the actual topics of this video, unless somebody else wants to add anything.
I didn't get to say.
No Sonic, stop! You're taking too much time. You gotta give it up. No,
I didn't even say.
I remember the thing I forgot is that I appreciate that the 2005 Fantastic Four film came out after the Ultimate Fantastic Four came out, and even though it was all the rage to draw on the Ultimate Universe at the time,
it was. You're right.
They even though it was like that, they at least didn't give Doctor Doom goat legs or the name Victor Van Dam. That's what the Ultimate Universe did. He had goat legs for some reason.
Van
and
Dam.
his name was Victor Van Dam because Victor Von Doom is too silly. Even though it's an easy fix, he's a fucking foreigner from a fictional country. Just say Doom means something different in his language, or spelled with an umlaut, D umlaut M. Fine, that's it. You problem solved. No, it's like, nah, he's Victor Van Dam, that guy, Victor Van Dam. And then, then he's like, well, no, I'm not Van Dam now. I am Von Doom. And it's that's fucking cringe. That's more cringe than having the character just be literally named Victor Von Doom.
Oh yeah.
When you try and justify the silly shit, it's often more cringeworthy than just leaving it as is and just playing it straight.
Mm-hmm. And just to educate Sonic on this stuff, so yeah, the Ultimate comics were what everybody was copying for the movies pretty much, because they typically were better. But honestly, looking back on it, I think Ultimate Spider-Man was the only absolute banger that was like really, really good. Every other Ultimate incarnation had some weird controversy about it that was just weird. Isn't that
because of the creative teams? Because you had Brian Michael Bendis did Spider-Man and another one, I forget which one it was. But then like it was like, I think the guy who created Kick-Ass was on the creative team, Mark Millar. He did the Ultimate Fantastic Four. I think he was on Ultimate X-Men as well. And like that's why it was all edgy and shit. Like, oh here, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, the twins.
You took it from me, you son of a bitch. I was gonna bring that up. You fucker. I was letting you go.
What the hell?
You took it from me. Yeah, the Ultimate X-Men is known for having Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver be like an incest couple. Like Game of Thrones style. And even worse, like even worse, Sonic. Wolverine just watches from the bushes, which is
even
funny
worse.
too.
It's even worse because later on, it's at least heavily implied, if not stated outright, that he is their father. He fucks Magneto's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
like, there's implication of that being the
This
case.
is Game of Thrones season 1, episode 1 all over again.
That's terrible. That's terrible. But it's so funny to know that in one universe, Wolverine can dunk on Magneto and be like, "Hey, how are my kids doing?" And just smile at him. It's like, "Fuck you. Did you have fun raising my kids, Magneto?
Oh my gosh.
Your pee still work? You're kind of old. Can you even father any new kids? Or are you stuck with mine?" And just keep roasting him. I got pretty good genes, huh? I got a kid with super speed and a fucking witch. I got good genes. Wolverine would be thinking. And then, or he could also make the joke like, dude, I'm like 300 years old. I've got a lot of kids out there. Like, let's just be real. I got a lot.
Yep.
That'd be funny.
Ultimatum was just an absolute mess. It was basically like a love letter to the Ultimate Universe where they killed off half the characters. And the Ultimate Universe isn't known for having characters be resurrected or anything. When they die, they stay dead. Usually, there's exceptions, but usually that is the case. Yeah. I think the reason it was used so often was because it attempted a more grounded approach. A lot of time, that's where the idea of the Phoenix being an alternate personality for Jean Grey came from. And that did it first. But then I think they retconned it later. Like, no, it's a space bird, like in the normal stuff. Because like in the MCU, where it was grounded, and then they start like, oh, the Norse gods, they're aliens. Like Iron Man's fairly grounded, and then it's like, fuck it, sorcerers exist, time travel, just throw it all in there, and it's like, it's very different from how it was originally. And the Ultimate Universe did that too, but at least the MCU had quality, whereas Ultimate Universe was largely a lot of people being into incest and threatening to eat each other. Like Hulk threatens to eat people. Mm-hmm. It's a really weird universe they created.
That's Venom's thing. How could they take that from him? That's Venom's line, threatening to eat people. He had so many silly, edgy jokes, which is funny because Eddie Brock's actually never canonically eaten anybody, but he always threatens that he's going to, which is hilarious.
That is kind of funny.
Wasp dies by being eaten by the Blob.
Yeah,
he eats her intestines. You see him doing it, and then Giant Man just bites his head off and kills him.
Yep, Giant Man eats the Blob. Yeah, so just to catch Sonic up. So basically, Marvel decided it was too hard to keep track of all the different continuities, I guess. So they merged the two different things at some point, and like they're in the same universe now, I guess. Okay. But in doing so, they killed off like 70% of the characters or some shit.
Well, what it was, they did an event in 2014 called Secret Wars, not to be confused with Secret Wars or Secret War or Secret Wars 2. This is a different thing called Secret Wars. Okay. And this one was like a big multiverse thing, dumb stuff. It was basically, really, it was just the end of the ongoing Fantastic Four arc more than anything. And the main result of it was that Miles Morales is now part of the main universe, is part of Earth 616 instead of the Ultimate Universe, because the Ultimate Universe was destroyed. But it's come back since. Mm-hmm. But he's just still in Earth 616, even though they introduced Earth 616 Miles Morales as a villain for him, which is like the coolest thing they ever did with Miles.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
That's something that would be cool to see in a Spider-Verse sequel. Like one of these other universes version of Miles who's evil.
Evil Miles. That would be kind of interesting.
I want to find me a woman that loves me as much as Marvel writers love Miles Morales right now. Specifically the Marvel comic writers, because they are shoving him into everything. Like, he is having appearances in everything. And it's funny because everyone keeps pointing out that, like, Miles in the movie, like the Spider-Verse movie, actually has a personality. Whereas in the comics, he, like, shockingly does not. Like, he is just a paragon who makes a joke every now and then. So he's, like, such a blah character, but he's everywhere.
Yeah, there's a great video by Godzilla Mendoza that went over it, how the movie basically saved Miles and made him good.
Yeah.
Made him a good character, because before that, like, he really was just Peter Parker, but he's black. Like, that was pretty much all he was. But like, it didn't even take the traits from the Ultimate Peter Parker, where he's just like an angsty asshole and just shouts at people. Like, he didn't even take that. He's just like the most bland. He's basically the MCU Peter.
Yeah, I remember that.
I hate to say it, but
too, yeah.
And that was one of the things, is that because the MCU cribbed so much from Miles, they were like, well, he's just going to feel like a rip-off of the MCU Peter. Let's do a bunch of new stuff for him. And it ended up making him way more interesting. And then you can see that influence in the PS4 version, and some of it's made its way into the comics.
Okay.
It's Miles was absolutely saved. Because the Ultimate Universe had like 5 good ideas. Everything else was dog shit, unfortunately.
But get this though. Here's what I wanted to build up into. So the Marvel writers are so desperate to get sales using Miles Morales that, believe it or not, they did like a Spider-Verse style thing with him. But instead of it being all the different Spider-Men, it's all just Miles, he's every single Avenger in a different universe. So here's Miles' version of Thor.
Is that the one where the controversies happen with like the Thor version of Miles Morales that I've seen?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, lovely.
Deservedly so.
Wait.
What's the line? Like, Asgard is my hood or something like that.
Asgard is my hood. And he also says hammer time. He raps the whole time. Like, the entire thing is a rap. And he uses like modern day like jargon, which is weird because he's Asgardian, so he should still use Asgardian lingo. He also puts graffiti all over Mjolnir, which is like not something that I don't think Thor would do that. But yeah. No, but like they have a cover where he's like literally every single Marvel character, but they're all just Miles. And so the joke became Miles now has everyone else's personality but his own. Because he's now literally everybody. And it's just...
That Thor thing was so, like, bad to the point, like, I saw, like, black people, like, coming out and being like, what the fuck is this? It's like, what?
They did something similar with Gwen as well, where it's like...
Gwenverse, right?
They did.
Yeah, Captain Gwen America.
I love it. It's so stupid.
see, it wasn't a good event, but at least with Venomverse, it was... let's give different characters the Venom symbiote. And that's at least an idea. Like what is Rocket Raccoon like with the symbiote? There's something there. Whereas here it's like, what if Gwen Stacy was Captain America? What if Miles Morales was Thor? It's shit you would see in the What If show. It really is.
Waiting.
I guess so.
You know what I'm waiting for? No, it's all building up to this though, Snake. What I'm waiting for now,
building up.
I'm waiting for them to do that same thing, but with Gwenpool. Because she's also extremely popular, but the reason that'd be so funny is she's already a parody of 2 existing characters that just fuse together. So having her be every Avenger would be really weird.
Oh, have Gwenpool
because she's already a blend.
Avengers, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Like have Captain Gwenpool America or like whatever. Because Gwenpool was outselling like most comics for a bit because she was meta. And admittedly, it was a pretty fun like style. And like the art style was good. It was consistent. It was somewhere between like comic and manga, so everyone liked it. The problem is she became way too meta to where it broke the fun of the show. At first in the comic, it was fun because she was trying to survive as a regular person, so she made herself a hero so she wouldn't die, because she was so worried that if she was just a regular person, she could be in a building when it explodes or something. So she made herself a character knowing she'd have a comic series about her and she wouldn't be able to die. That was like her first big brain move.
Cute. I like that.
Yeah, but then it kept evolving, though, to the point where she became more fourth wall breaking than Deadpool. And to defeat one of her villains, she straight up takes him outside the comic book page and drops him into, like, the ether. Which is too powerful. Like, she's too strong now. Like, she shouldn't be able to do that. So it kind of broke itself with the meta. But, yeah. Any hoozle. I guess we should let Sonic talk now, huh?
Oh, hell yeah.
No, we shall not.
Oh, no.
So Gwenpool, you see, she seemed like she was Gwen Stacy but Deadpool, but she's actually named Gwendolyn Poole. She's a completely separate character. She's not a Gwen Stacy, which means they can, in fact, in part of the Gwenverse, have Gwen Stacy who is Gwenpool. They can do that if they so desire, which would be funny.
Right.
Like the height of just ridiculous meta bullshit. What if Gwen Stacy was Gwenpool?
And what makes it even more confusing, Sonic, is that Gwenpool does look like Gwen Stacy with her mask off.
I think I've seen.
So it just adds it compounds to the confusing that she already looks like her. But ironically enough, she's also designed after one of the writers that everybody hates. That's why like people kind of don't like her look and love it, because she's a really adorable looking character.
Yeah,
but she's definitely inspired by the writer that was mean to all the fans.
I just thought of like the perfect story to do with Gwen Stacy as Gwenpool is she gets abducted by the Green Goblin, thrown off the bridge like Gwen was, and then she like cuts out those panels of where she would hit the ground and die, so those panels don't exist anymore, and so she survives. She cuts out the panel, falls through into the next page through the hole that she's cut out of the comic. Oh, that would be brilliant. Marvel needs to do this.
I thought you were going to go extra meta with it and say that she gets kidnapped by Green Goblin, But then Green Goblin gets to like a hiding spot with her, takes off his mask, and it's actually the Gwenpool writer. And she's like, I'm going to fucking exploit the shit out of you and make you into a brand new character, and I'm going to get rich. And she's like, no, please. Where's Peter?
have Gwen Stacy and Gwenpool like? Oh no, you just said they're not. So like there's a different version, but then you're also saying that they're in the same universe, so they could meet. Okay.
Well, it's complicated because the current Gwen is Spider-Gwen, who is from a different universe.
Ghost Spider.
Interestingly, was a universe that wasn't even established for her. That the universe she's in already existed because of Captain Britain. So it's like a hippie version of Captain Britain. That universe existed before Gwen. She's from that Earth 15.
See.
But that's besides the point. I'm really just stalling to make sure Sonic can't talk. But the point is,
So I see.
She's from another universe, but she's so popular she spends a lot of time in the main universe. And I think Gwenpool is from the main universe. Mm-hmm. But she's not Gwen Stacy from the main universe. She's someone else who is basically Gwen Stacy, but not.
That's why I was so shocked, because you brought up Venomverse. And shockingly enough, they had a Venom version of Gwenpool. And to my shock, they killed her in like the first issue. And I was like, really? They're not going to milk the shit out of Gwenpool? I am surprised. But then again, in that universe, when you die, you become like the villain. So they just had a villain version of Gwenpool. So that was probably their goal.
I mean, that was one of the lamest things today, because they had that happen to Spider-Man as well in the first issue. And I'm like, I want to see Spider-Man with the black suit teaming up with Venom. I feel like there's a lot you could do with that, but no, they just like they got rid of him as like a symbol of intent, I guess. Mm-hmm. I thought one of the most interesting things actually was there's an alternate universe that Rocket's from, where Carol Danvers is Captain Marvel and Captain America. I thought that was an interesting idea, but they didn't do anything with that.
Another interesting idea is to finally let our boy talk.
You guys can keep going. I don't really mind. I mean, this is like
he's checking his phone, man. The guy's so depressed. He's checking his phone, man.
I'm watching Pochita cute. Like, oh come on, show the. I'm looking at adorable Pochita like videos and stuff just randomly.
I adore the name Gwenom. Gwenom is a brilliant name that they used when they had to venomize Gwen.
Gwenom.
And the design is really good too.
That's pretty cute. Yeah.
Gwenom for Venom 3. She's gonna show up.
Gwenom for.
I mean, they've established the multi. Well, they don't even need to use the multiverse stuff. They just have Gwen Stacy show up and get symbiote.
I feel like we should see what they do in Spider-Verse 2 first, because then we'll see if like they'll play around the multiverse shenanigans and stuff like that.
Pregnant Spider-Woman. That's what they're doing, apparently.
Apparently, yeah. I heard, the one thing that gets me so excited about Spider-Verse 2 is I heard they're like, we're going to have 6 different art styles, like, in the movie. Like, they're going to go to, like, different worlds, so it's going to have 6 different art styles coalescing with each other, which is like, okay, that sounds cool.
I remember they did something like that, actually, in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon for the 2099 universe. It was CGI, but, like, every other universe was just the same normal art style, I think. Which is an odd choice.
The Disney Channel one? Yeah.
Okay.
Wait. Was it on Disney Channel, Ultimate Spider-Man? Because it's Ultimate Spider-Man and this Marvel Spider-Man.
It was on, like the Ultimate Spider-Man, which was not Ultimate Spider-Man, which made it very confusing because it was not following the plot of the comics at all, but it had the name because they own the name. Yeah, that was the... Yeah, you're right. They didn't change art style at all, but I don't mind because that's when we got canonically Spider-Horse in the medieval time period.
Oh, that's where it came from. I see.
I love that. Avast ye, Spider Horse. He just has it all of a sudden, and he's like jousting on it. I lost my shit. That was so goofy and stupid. Also, we got Mary Jane as a LA Noir reporter, which was not a thing in the Noir comics. So that was kind of cute that they made her into a reporter for like the Daily Bugle.
Yeah.
Even though I hate they made her a reporter in that show overall because they made her just like Lois Lane by doing that. Because
I was thinking that
what Lois Lane is.
Yeah.
Show. Is this real? Oh my gosh! It's finally happening! Oh! Okay.
So then in 2014,
I'm gonna kick you out of this freaking. Okay. Okay. So I guess I shall wrap the what's been going on topic here, and actually what has been going on with me? Okay, I can't really think of too much that's been going like on with my life and like what I've been doing recently, because all I've been doing for like the past like 2 weeks nonstop was just writing my script for the upcoming Mortal Kombat Snowblind Sucks video. And you'd think, okay, not too much happens in the movie compared to like what other Mortal Kombat stuff is going around. So it's like, probably, hopefully, maybe I can finally make a video that's gonna be like smaller than, let's say, an hour like I usually do. So I go writing in the script and I just write, and I just finished the script like today, or 99.9% of it, and it's like my Battle of the Realms video was like 34 pages, and that was like an hour and 20 minutes. The script is 40 pages, and I'm just like,
Nice.
oh boy, this video might be like over 90 minutes, I can imagine, and it's like,
That's good. That'll help you out actually in the algorithm, I've learned.
Yeah.
So, good for you.
Hopefully, yeah. I'm just thinking like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I have that much to say about Snowblind. The only part I'm stuck on is right now for the ending. I'm gonna end the video with like a montage or like, because like I got a comment from someone saying like, this is worse than Battle of the Realms, and I'm just like, okay, I don't care if you hate this movie, that's completely fine. I'm just like, but you're saying it's worse than Battle of the Realms, and I kind of like show like a montage of all like the bad things about Battle of the Realms. Right now, I'm struggling with ending the video with like a funny like blind pun, like you
Nice.
can't like see what's going on, or like obviously you're blinded by something. Yeah, that's the thing that I'm struggling right now to end the video off. But yeah, other than that, like I'm just like starting the Snowblind journey, and hopefully I'll be able to get that out by early next year. We'll see.
Maybe you can end the video by using pocket sand on the camera. Like, just throw it.
Just throw the pocket
And that'll
sand.
blind everybody.
Pocket
Yeah.
sand. Ha!
Ah, my eyes.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna make Kenshi say it's blinding time in the video, so that should be pretty fun. Oh yeah, one thing the last piece of the puzzle that I have, because there is so many crazy like interviews that I found about this movie that are like give so much more additional info. But the thing that I'm missing right now is the filmmaker's commentary, which is like the last piece of the puzzle. I want to know like, what was their plan, or why did they do this and that, all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, I've been I also did the asking my fans for help, but like nobody, or it's not easily shipped around for them and whatnot. So I can't. So I'm still waiting on that. I actually might ask Bruspo for help on this one now I think about it, because he has the movie too. But that's beside the point. What is cool is that I can't find the filmmaker's commentary, but someone on YouTube did upload all the DVD extras. So all of that is on YouTube, and there is some pretty fun tidbits in there. There's like a character sheet that they showcase of like all the characters doing like the normal like just standing still like poses, the costumes. They had one for Jarek. They had one for Dairu. So I think that's pretty awesome. They have a delete.
Melina again?
What? No.
Was it deleted Melina again? No, okay.
Sadly, no. They actually showcased a deleted scene, which I thought was really cool, because I don't think I've seen movies, or at least any of the animated movies do that, where they just showcase 2 minutes of a cut scene from like the movie, and it's like, I actually think it actually helps out the movie if they kept that deleted scene too. I thought that was pretty cool. But you'll just have to wait to see that in the upcoming Snowblind Sucks video. Yeah.
Good. I need more of your videos in my veins. I like binging y'all's videos. And by the way, Snake, congrats on how well that video did too. Your Deadly Alliance one.
Yeah.
That fucking killed it, man.
Good job on that. That was a great video too. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Thank you. Yeah, people seem to like it when I'm positive as well. Well, they say they do.
We are.
It's currently 80,000 views. Nice.
Very nice.
You're the end of the Christmas movie where Scrooge is finally nice to people, and it's come full circle.
Yes, Snake and I are going through the that phase of being nice to the content, because like my Snowblind video will be like a doesn't suck video. I'm gonna mostly be praising that movie. We're a change of heart people because of Christmas that's coming up.
I'm sadly going through the opposite arc because I'm getting a bit more cynical over some changes and stuff. But,
I
like,
saw your
my
latest
most
video
recent
too.
video.
Yeah.
I think it's a good video, to be fair, but like at the end, I do get a bit too real, and I think that's why I have more dislikes than usual. It's still a 95% like to dislike ratio, but that's low for me. I'm usually always in the 98 or 99 area, so I'm like 4% more of people disliked this video than usual.
My view from that is basically it's a fun video. You're just kind of looking through tweets and stuff like that. It's also to me at least. I find that to be such a like a small. I mean, you open the topic up. You're talking about like the MK11 costumes and stuff like that. But like the topic starts because Ed Boon just says not likely to a fan art. that I just think that's like a very like small thing, but it seems like a lot of people like.
You can say it, fucker. You can say it. I'm out of ideas.
I did not say
that. I know it's a small thing. You can say it.
I did not
Just come
say
out
that.
and say it. I'm fucking scraping the bottom of the barrel. All right. I'm getting a bit scared. I'm not gonna lie. I got a list of video ideas. I used to be pretty confident. We're getting to like the bottom 20. I'm getting a bit nervous. I'm not lying. I'm running low, but I always find a way to keep scraping for more stuff. So
Don't worry. The
there.
Game Awards are coming up, so you'll be having content for that.
There's not gonna. I mean, maybe we'll see if they give anything that I can even use, but we'll see. I'll definitely have content if Shenmue wins or Sifu wins fighting game of the year, which it won't. But.
No way. Yeah, it sadly won't. It's gonna win stuff though, but yeah.
If it had the mods, it would. Yeah, if you could play as Cammy, like that Cammy mod's pretty good.
You can make an argument with like the D. What was the other game called? The D something, the one that literally put Maximilian into the game.
DNF Duel.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't actually put
DNF
him in. It just looks a lot like him.
Well, I mean that's a mod too.
Troubleshooter already existed.
What I'm saying is that game has like
mod with his voice,
sick mods and people literally like recreating characters into that game and stuff like that. So it's like that
but
one
guess
also
what?
has
That game
mods.
still fucking died because the online is shit.
Oh, that's too sad.
Which is a real shame. Like, it's so much fun to play when it works, but like you'll join a lobby with friends to play, and I swear, you can't tell when it's gonna happen. It could happen 15 minutes after like 20 minutes of playing. It could happen within the first minute of playing. It will eventually disconnect you from your friend, and you'll be put into like the main menu, or it will soft lock you. I've never had a game soft lock me so often. Where like we finish the match. And it's supposed to have a countdown, and you can choose retry or character select, like any fighting game, right? Sometimes it won't let you pick, you're stuck, and it counts to 0, and nothing happens. And you're just stuck in that screen. It happens a lot.
Wow.
So the game is like unplayable when it comes to like online. Eventually it will screw you over, but the game is so fun. It's just a shame that they really fucked up the online, because it's got good mods, it's a fun game. Like, I do like it.
I'll mention one more mod because like also the JoJo All-Star got nominated and that game has mods. Someone just modded like the Kira Yoshikage's like model and just changed it to Saul Goodman.
Oh god. I have to watch that show now. Yeah, I was trying to watch House of Dragon and it's not bad. It's a good show so far, House of Dragon. Though I do get mad at all the medieval inconsistencies.
Oh, yeah. Take your time with that show. It's a slow burn, but it really starts to build up, especially like around the middle point, in my opinion. It just like it really just goes up, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, it should. I think so. My only issue with the first episode is they were definitely trying to force some stuff, just so you know that it's Game of Thrones. Like, I can picture the checklist being like, okay, we have to have gore. We gotta let them know it's a gory show. Okay, we gotta have sex. Put the tits. Get the tits out there. We gotta have them. Gotta put a dick there at some point. Where's that dick? There's the dick. Okay. Oh, now we gotta have a
incest.
Yeah. We gotta have like a family rivalry.
No incest yet.
Really?
No incest. No incest.
No incest yet. Yeah. Well, okay. To be fair, it's Targaryen, so there has to be some sort of incest lineage shenanigans in the first episode, I suppose. Yeah.
There will not be incest in this show. I insist.
That was the Lannisters. I thought they were incestual.
No, it was Targaryens. Yeah, not Lannisters.
I think most of the families in that setting are incestuous.
Oh! You think it's the Lannisters because of Cersei? No, like they keep it a secret because it's taboo. But like, yeah, it's the Targaryens who are openly about that.
Oh, the Targaryens are just open about it. Okay,
yes,
I didn't know.
That's part of the world. We're the dragon people, so we want to keep our blood is sacred. So that's why we want to keep our bloods like pure. That's the reasoning why they do incest.
Well, that's not the same as incest, but I get you. That's like pretty much any royal line did that. They all were like, nope, you can only bang within the family tree. Where's the cousin? There they are. Get them.
Yeah.
Gotta keep this blood pure. When in reality, it's the opposite, which is so funny. I love that humans, despite being the smartest creatures for a good while, made some of the dumbest blunders that even every other animal knows not to fuck up.
Yeah.
But that was one of the all-time greatest. Was the first emperor of China, of the unified China? Do you know how he died?
Mercury poisoning, you said, right?
Yes. Mercury consumption in a bid to extend his lifespan.
Oh,
I mean, look at it. It's shiny. It looks like it's special. It looks like it's amazing. You know, it's liquid, but it doesn't act like liquid.
The shaman said it worked. I mean, why not?
That is one part that was accurate in the Game of Thrones House of Dragon, is they said, oh, get the leeches to try and heal him.
The leeches
which
will
is
work.
very
The
accurate
leeches
for
will
that
work,
time
yeah.
period. Get the leeches.
Yeah.
Nothing else so far has been that historically accurate. There hasn't been too many egregious things, though.
I will say this though: Game of Thrones, the universe is like a fantasy. Like it's
is, but I'm
based
saying,
off
like,
of it's based off of it, but not 100% it. Yeah.
It's kind of like the Dark Souls problem, where Dark Souls is definitely using medieval setting, and it's using like what do we want to call it, like Western architecture and stuff. Like it has the Western castles, the Western knights and armor and stuff. But then for no reason, katana. Like you're playing a Dark Souls game and there's a katana for some reason, which would not be there.
I feel like most Japanese fantasy stories it's Western medieval fantasy, but we also have to throw in our Japanese stuff because
that's how Game of Thrones feels
if a Japanese story does not have a katana in it, it will literally not be allowed to re-release. It's like a point of like national pride or some bullshit. Like we have to have it in there.
Here's the thing about that that's really funny. In Dark Souls, it's like like all this medieval stuff, and like one NPC is like comes from the really far away land that we don't know much about and has the katana.
Yeah, off to the far east.
In Elden Ring, it's like you can choose the what the class you want to be. And it's like the warriors, the blah 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 blah. Samurai. Where did you come from?
Is it?
Samurai. There's just a class that's a samurai, and it's like, where does this come from in this like whole entire fantasy universe? Came from some sort of very far away land, and that's all the description it has. But just literally a samurai costume in the fantasy game. Yeah.
I just had a sad thought too, Sonic. I'm a bit worried because there was a season 8 moment that happened in episode 1 of House of Dragon that I'm. You're talking
about the prophecy, right?
Not just that. I'm talking about the armor. So Game of Thrones in the first couple of seasons was very accurate to how armor was super useful and effective, and how like if you wore armor, you were safe against a lot of weapons and stuff. If you had a shield, you were pretty safe against a lot of weapons. And then in episode 1 of House of Dragon, we see a dude wearing his helmet, and a mace just clubs him, and his head goes to mush. Like the helmet does nothing. And I'm like, what? Who's that guy? Who's that strong motherfucker that can just break a helmet into bits like it's confetti? Because like it doesn't just dent; it comes off. Like it tears the helmet like it's tissue paper. And I'm like, and then when they fight, he takes his helmet off. Like I thought that was really stupid too. If that guy had died, I would have laughed.
Gotta get that face cam, baby. I mean, that's Doctor Who, right? So it's gotta get the face cam.
Well, that's the other guy. Yeah, the Doctor Who was more egregious because he just has his whole face exposed on his helmet, which is already funny. Yeah. Not to mention it's like science fantasy Skyrim looking bullshit, where like that helmet never existed. But he's wearing like a made up helmet with no face protection.
It has like dragons.
And then
on
his
the
opponent,
helmet,
it has the wings. But no, his opponent had the traditional flute armor. So I was like, oh dude, fuck yeah. He's wearing like the Dark Souls 1 like flute armor. That's sick. But then when they start fighting, he opens up the face mask and starts sword fighting, and I'm like, why would you do that?
Because he's so handsome.
Why would you do that though?
He's so handsome.
And guess what, Snake, here's the funniest part. Do you know what weapon this guy uses who ends up actually winning the fight? This flute armor guy? Guess what
wait, just a second. The Damien guy, the Targaryen, the white hair that he's fighting,
Daemon?
He's holding a morning sword, which is Valyrian steel, one of the strongest steels in that like universe. Like it can cut through armor basically, and he brings that into a fucking tournament. But yeah, go on, TrueUnderDawg.
Yeah, and it doesn't cut through anything. It doesn't cut through shit. Like the shield blocks it, his armor blocks it. Like it doesn't cut through nothing. So it's funny. It didn't even cut through the other guy's weapon. But yeah, Snake, what medieval weapon do you think would be the least appropriate to have on you in a jousting fight, and also is known to be one of the worst weapons in medieval history, but it's loved by like casuals like myself? It's a cool looking weapon, but it's useless. Do you know what weapon he pulled out?
So the hint is it's not a sword. Yeah,
that's a good hint.
I imagined that. Yeah, some kind of mace, perhaps.
Yeah, but the chain one. He pulled out the Morning Star.
I was gonna say like
he used that. And to be even more inaccurate to history, the chain was like this long. Like it was way too long. And I'm like, that would be so impossible to use. But the reason it's that long is because they had to have the stupid Hollywood moment where he throws it and the guy puts his sword out and it wraps around the sword and he catches it. And I'm like, oh, great. Yeah, because that's what it was for. It was for tasseling. Yeah, that's what it's for. No, it was literally just to get over shields. It's barely long enough to get over the shield. That's like all it's for. And like, also they're terrible because they can bounce back and hit you very easily.
Yeah, I was wondering, thinking that would have been funny, you know, when you mentioned the guy getting his head caved in, if the guy swung it, hit the guy's helmet, bounced back and hit him in the head, and that guy who's wielding it's not wearing a helmet, so it goes bonk.
Yeah, well, the fact getting his helmet to
That
sword
would've
was just a
been
regular
great.
mace. Like, it was attached to the stick at least.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that was a believable mace at least. But it was still stupid because maces, as far as I know, are more for like breaking shields and breaking swords and stuff. They're not as good against like actual armor. Whereas like you're better off with the sword getting in between the gaps if you want to do that kind of stuff. But my point is, I'm worried because I've already learned from the show that armor doesn't matter unless the writer wants it to. And that has me a bit concerned.
So,
The only armor that matters is plot armor.
So I will say the that
armor,
scene is also, people do say it's like it's there just for the sake of being like bloody and gory and stuff like that. It's like
Exactly.
It's like
had to have tits, had to have gore,
yeah, but like
had to have family drama.
like don't I think the show just like goes better and better and even has more cool like accurate things to based off of medieval stuff. And there is some more bullshit I would say, but it does get so much better later on in the show.
Yeah, overall it's good. I still like it, and I will say one thing too. I don't actually care about this, but I have to point it out. The CGI dragons look pretty sus in a lot of shots. Like, they look really bad in some shots.
They're better than Game of Thrones though, I would say. Okay, I mean you will see more. Like you will see more of them.
They look good in the distance, like when they're on the mountaintop or whatever, just kind of hanging out. They look good, but there are some shots when like the lighting isn't even correct on them. Like it'll be like a gloomy shot, and they're like fully lit, like the dragon was rendered in the wrong kind of lighting and stuff. But it's not a big deal. I don't care about bad CGI. I really don't. I just wanted to bring up that I can tell they're not dumping as much of the budget into the dragons this time because they're like, like.
Well,
we're gonna have dragons all the time.
But this show will have like more than 3 dragons, unlike Game of Thrones. So like you.
Yeah, that's why they're doing it. Yeah, that's why they're lowering the budget because there's gonna be way more, which is fine.
So the question is, has there been a shot in this show that needs to be taught in film school forever?
Not yet. Not,
Oh,
okay.
is it the dragon? You mean the dragon lady shot? Is that what
Yeah,
we're talking
you know
about?
the meme where it's like she's
Oh,
walking
okay.
behind her like the dragon wings show up in Game of Thrones season 8, and that became a
That
meme.
was such a funny, divisive moment. Like I thought it looked fine because they're just trying to establish that she's the mother of dragons and she's evil, which we
looks
already know.
fine, but like just somebody on Twitter being like, "This needs to be taught in like film schools from now on," and people just took
It's
that
one
quote.
of those. I see.
I'm not sure if it was someone being genuine or if they were just taking the piss. You know, as if they're like, "Oh, these filmmakers think they're so clever. Oh, this is so amazing."
Yeah.
Like, I could believe it's real or satire because there are people like that on both sides. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I would not be shocked, Snake, if they were being literal because don't forget we had the similar fiasco of the woman posting an image of Ellie from Last of Us Part 2 and she goes, "Name anyone who suffered more than her."
I have to ask,
And it's
is that genuine too? Because like,
I can already hear the Berserk theme in my head. The guts theme.
yeah, the montage music.
I am more inclined to assume that one's real compared to the other one.
And the thing
Because
is,
people did go gaga over Last of Us Part 2. But it's one of those where it's like, I'm sure I saw someone respond to it with, "Oh, name someone who suffered more than her." So I'm sure someone replied, "The developers."
oh my gosh.
The Netherrealm staff getting PTSD from fatalities. That still cracks me up because
Oh, you want to go there?
maybe I'm an asshole.
That was
Well,
a
maybe
big
I'm an
news that
asshole, but
happened
I
a
grew-
couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
But I don't understand because like there are so many people like me who are unfazed by fake gore and blood. Like if it's a real thing, it messes me up. Like I don't want to see a person splatted in a car accident or something. That'll mess me up. But like if I know it's a movie or a video game, you can show me the most heinous crap and like I don't care because I know it's fake. So it's hard for me to believe the Netherrealm couldn't find at least 5 people like me to review and make the fatalities. Like it couldn't have been that hard.
That's the controversy, TrueUnderDawg. It's they did show them like gore and stuff to like look
to
into
get them
in
ready
order
for
to
it.
make those
Yeah.
fatalities.
Well,
Yeah, it was like Last of Us had the same thing.
Exactly,
actually,
yes,
where
very
apparently they had
similar.
people needing to look at real gore to make the gore in the game realistic, and I'm like, I don't want it to be realistic. I want it to be silly and goofy and over the top.
Yeah.
I want to punch a man so he explodes into 5 skeletons worth of bones. That's way cool than, oh, look at the skin and flesh tears off realistically. You see the bone.
You can see the
I don't
heart
fucking want to
beating
see that.
and stuff. Yeah.
So unfortunately,
it's
that's not new
childish.
then. If that's what they did, that's not new. Dead Space did that also. But with Dead Space, here's even creepier, possibly even creepier. So for Dead Space, to get the idea of how necromorphs would like bend and contort into monsters when they were originally human, is they looked at all the failed experiments of plastic surgery
Oh.
to see how an incomplete transformation would look. And they had their staff look at that on top of car accidents and murders and stuff like that to like see how people get mangled, because you'll see bodies like just dead in the ship and they wanted it to be accurate. So they've had to endure that too. I wonder if it's just because like NetherRealm is trying to be more and more like in the political eye, if you will. So now it's like they're coming forward because they know they'll get more response from it. I feel like the NetherRealm, the Dead Space staff would have got nothing if they had said, "We got traumatized." Like, who are you? We don't know you.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh. But NetherRealm is so much in the eye that it would help them.
Maybe, yeah.
Go ahead.
Because like even like when the game came out, it was like the NetherRealm crunch thing came out, and that also caused a bit of an uproar too. Because obviously
Also very
NetherRealm
common.
does have like a big like wide audience like watching over them.
Crunch was super normal. Like even I guarantee you, God of War Ragnarok had crunch. Like everyone.
That's
has
a sad
crunch.
thing.
It's just
It's just all like
Yeah, I mean,
for the most part. Yeah.
But it really, I think it just comes down to like partly is. If it's just towards the end of development, like we're approaching the deadline, we've got like a couple of months maybe, then I think people can generally say, well, fair enough. Ideally, you'd be able to push it back, or maybe just say, do you want to work overtime? Like, don't force people into it. But because I think a lot of these are rumours of it being for a much longer portion of the development.
Yeah.
So where it's like, it's not just. I mean, I do that when a video is almost complete. I'll spend more time working on a video per day than normal.
Yeah,
but
same. Yeah.
If it was like, but when I'm just spending most of the day for weeks on end just working on videos, that's why my content production slowed down, is because recently, because working on that Deadly Alliance video and other videos from like October, I gave myself deadlines and I had to rush to meet them all, and so I kind of got burned out. So. It does happen in like pretty much any industry, I think, and ideally you wouldn't, but sometimes you do. But if it's like that throughout the entire thing, it's just the worst thing ever.
I appreciate you trying to empathize, Snake, but I need my DLC characters as soon as possible. So you're gonna have to be quiet and go into the back, okay? Because I need my DLC sooner. And just so we're clear, people like you are why we didn't get Natara and Lee May, because there was definitely a Combat Pack 3, and fuck you.
This is the anti-dog.
If you can't handle real life gore, while you're working on Mortal Kombat, you should just work for a different studio. I'm just saying, you know what you're signing up for when you work on Mortal Kombat. Kill yourself, people.
Yeah, it's not like you worked on Injustice or something, a really non-bloody game too.
People say they're just horrendous people. Like they don't deserve a say in anything. They should be like silenced forever. But people who are just like, oh yeah, I'll just work on something else. No, that's not a reasonable response. Okay, I mean, a lot of these people would have probably come in from working on Injustice,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's like you would work on Injustice, then it's like, well, you're going to stay on for the next project probably. It makes sense. Oh, the next one is Mortal Kombat. Like, I came in for Injustice 2, now I'm working on MK11. I came here to model Superman and Batman costumes, not to look up violent gore. Like, the lack of empathy on display from some people, it's astounding.
Well, they don't have the perspective. They just have surface level reaction, and they go with that, and then they get all their retweets and likes, so they get validated.
I can watch the fatalities. Like, hire me. Jeez, it's not that hard.
People would kill to have your job. Gosh.
I would kill to have your job. I would kill someone and then film it and then use that as reference material when I make the models of all the dead people in the game. Fuck you. No.
This is a very dark episode this time. I would say this, though, I think, because we're probably going to jump into the main topic of this episode. I think we can also just split this episode in two, since we've been talking for like about an hour and 30 minutes now. So
yep, that's a good spot.
Yeah, so I think we can split this episode in two too, because since now we get into the main topic here.
Did you want to do a bathroom break, anybody?
That was all I was gonna say too.
Yeah.
How about we take a bathroom break?
Do a quick outro and then bathroom break, or you want to do it right now?
Yeah, like right now, since
just quick break
cut right now. Yeah. All right. Let me bring up my Scroto-Con here. So let's just put it here.
Don't call him that.
That's what you guys call
It's the best name.
Okay, I will angle him a bit better this time, so we can. There we go. You see his head now. It's not creepy anymore. So
I love him.
Should be Gucci. Yeah. I need to get a refill with my water.
He's my
too.
favorite.
All right, BRB.
Gucci.
They're all gone now. Oh, all right. I'm the first one back. Hell yeah! That means I can censor my pants. Haha! No one's gonna be able to see it. Haha! All right, Kodo out. I I didn't even know I could roll this good.
Mm.
Oh, hi, you're back. Hi. I'm just messing around with the Comic-Con. I didn't even know this actually does really. This is pretty good wheels here. Nice. Good job, Xavier.
What do they call you? Wheels?
Where's that from? That sounds really familiar.
X-Men 1.
I need to rewatch those someday. Like the first 3 movies. They seem like very campy, fun movies.
No. What you do is you watch 1, 2, First Class, Days of Future Past, and that's it.
I want to also watch 3 just because like that one seems like bad, but in a fun way, in a sort of way. Or is it that? Is it really really bad? I don't remember much.
I've seen it once, and that was back in like 2007 or 8 when it came out, and I hated it. Maybe I'd be able to appreciate it as like dumb and stupid, but stuff in an ironic way.
Yeah.
It was not good. I think people are a bit too harsh on X-Men Origins. I think that one's fine.
Really?
But
I've heard people say that's like one of the worst superhero movies like out there, kind of a thing. It's been a while, but yeah.
It has problems. Like the fact there's no blood at all in a movie where Wolverine stabs people is a bit weird. But then I've always found it weird that Wolverine doesn't just have blood on his claws all the time because they burst out of his hand.
That is true.
Now, the reason he doesn't bleed to death every time he uses his claws is because he's healing over it. But the inside his hand, so there should be blood on them all the time.
Does make sense. The reason why I think I was considering 1, 2, 3 instead of what you just listed there is because I think First Class is in a sort of way like a small reboot because it's kind of like that kind of
it changed
sort of way.
It really feels like that's what they were kind of going for, but then when the Days of Future Past, it made sense to tie it into the
original.
Because with the 2 timelines, it makes sense to use the classic characters as the future versions. So it makes sense. It was cool. I definitely appreciate having the 2 Xaviers briefly interact. That's cool.
Yeah.
But it really does feel like a completely different continuity that just uses the same actors.
Yes, honestly, yes. And I kind of want to rewatch those because I still remember everything about like Days of Future Past and the First Class because those are really fun. Those are good movies. Apocalypse, I enjoyed it too. But I genuinely completely forgot like the original 2, and I remember watching them as a kid. But like, yeah, I completely forgot what happens in those. I'm trying to think of anything. What was that?
No, it's just one of the lights had run out of battery, so it's
I'm dumb. I thought those are like built in. So it's like they're like you just kind of like stick them there, basically.
Yeah.
Wow.
I stick them on with blue tack, and it works well enough.
Oh, then that's a lot of them, and you just have a remote control to like turn it on and off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I should get something like that. I thought it was more complicated. Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass to make sure they're all charged up and like because the amount of time it takes to charge just some of them. It's like you have to keep doing that for each one. Takes 3, but you can do something just simple like Dog's blue light is just really nice.
Yes.
Like it makes the whole room look really good, and so you can do something simple like that and it works.
My room lighting doesn't look that good.
Now, I think it looks great.
It does, yeah. I like it. The reason why... Oh, actually, you know what? Mentioning the lighting thing, I noticed the recent Melina video because... I don't know if it's just because I like... Whenever you post a video, it's literally like around 3 a.m. in the morning. So if I pull my phone, I'll be like, oh, you uploaded a video. And it seems like an interesting topic. Okay, I'm going to watch it. And that's why you see me like sometimes reply to you very fast because... Yeah, it's around that time.
You fucking loser. Staying up at 3 a.m. just to comment on my video.
Yeah, but I think I noticed the recent video. I don't know, maybe it's because I was watching that late, but I really felt like the topic that you were talking about, and then the lighting made you feel like super red, like you were like boom, like super red on your face. It was like I'm gonna be talking about a very serious topic this time. I don't know if you did that on purpose or not.
No, so what happens is like it's hard to tell. Like the camera is different a little bit every time, which I think is normal. Like even if you have the exact same lighting setup. Maybe it's a different time of day. Maybe there's something that's changing the camera a bit to make it a bit different. Sometimes I look yellow. So I have to go into my video editing and change the hue a bit to make me look red, which is unfortunate, but that's the only other option besides looking yellow, is look a bit red, right?
Oh, maybe that's why. Okay.
Yeah. And then there's some videos where it's on purpose, like the creepy facts video where I just change the lighting to all red. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that snake, the logo. That looks pretty cool. One of the big reasons why like my background is just my room and I don't do too much is because like well, it's very cramped in this space, but also I feel like eventually I will move out to like have my own like room, and when that happens, when I'll start to do like super sick decorations like what the Force Snake is doing and that kind of stuff. But for now, this is just my normal room, so like have this right here. There we go. This thing can roll really good, actually, honestly.
Well, Snake did do the best job with his setup because I did posters. I should have done what Snake did and just like stack my stuff on more boxes because then I could show off more stuff. But as it stands right now, like half my toys are hidden. You can't even see them. And then for my actual videos, not for today because y'all aren't special enough for this, but normally I have the bottom lights on too, which illuminate even more of my stuff behind me. Yeah.
I mean, you say that, but like, with me, it's like I'm over here most of the time, so you can see the MK stuff, but like this stuff that I've actually been moving around a bit, you can't even see. Like, I've moved the samurai stuff up to the top. Yeah, move the samurai stuff up to the top.
Cool.
I put some of the cool ladies there. You got Psylocke, Black Canary, Emma Frost, Yor, Chun-Li, Power Girl. That's where the other figures have got on pre-order. Got to go in the new year. I should be getting Edelgard and Bernadetta from Fire Emblem.
Oh, nice.
As well as
Bernadetta is such a funny fucking name. Does she use fire?
She doesn't.
Oh damn.
But she can be trained as a mage. She's like the.
Okay.
She's the cowardly shut-in who's an archer, which is kind of perfect. That the shut-in is the archer.
Yeah,
she's scared of people, so she fights at range.
She learned how to train in their own fucking house somehow, I guess. Yeah, what's funny about that is like maybe I'm probably just wrong then. Bernadetta could be an actual name from that time period and location. I thought they were doing a pun, like Bernadetta instead of like Brenda or Bernadette.
The purple hair girl. Okay. Oh, you like her?
No, Bernadette's an actual name, so Bernadetta sounds like they're doing like I burn things, but.
Because the current, like the new thing that is like the popular brand now is Pop-Up Parade. That's what the Yor figure is from. And so they started doing some Three Houses ones, and it's like I can't imagine the boys are going to be that popular, especially compared to the girls. We have Edelgard, Bernadetta, and Lysithea, three of the most popular characters in the game.
It's the same with Spy Family, man. Like. Yor gets all the attention because no one cares about the dude. He's just a spy.
Yeah, sadly. He's a great main character too, but yeah.
He is. But like I've also got another Yor on the way, which is in her casual clothes with the red jumper on.
With her very sexy back window. I'll never get over that back window. It's nice.
And also the Yor Nendoroid is on the way too.
I watched a video recently explaining how Anya is a combination of like two of the other characters that he's made in different manga before. He just combined their looks together. Yeah,
that's cute. Yeah, like Yor is like you want to get the models and like she's the sexy one, and Anya is the memes. She's just meme, the girl.
I don't mean to be a jerk though, but that show better do something different soon because it's getting really mundane and repetitive. Like every episode feels the same.
I have to
for, like,
agree.
Past 10 episodes, like
it's very. It's basically the first. I feel like the first half of the season was very setuping. That looks very sick. Whereas the second half is okay. We're gonna take these setups and we're just gonna make it a slice of life show now. For now, at least, that's how I feel.
Which is a bit of a shame because even the credits and intro make it show that the coolest thing about the show is that like all these secret like lives that no one knows about, but then they try to like hide it all to be a normal family. I want more of that. Like when
are you caught up with the anime at least?
The anime, yeah. So like
you're all caught up with the anime. So you saw
with the anime I'm caught up. Huh?
Like the new spy character, the white hair girl.
Oh gosh, my sister is calling me. Un momento.
Oh, okay, no problem.
So are we back now or?
We're back. We're gonna start after we're done with the Spy Family conversation. Let's try to read lips here. Yeah, I'm just casually. Oh no, he's not talking. I can't.
You can't really see him, but on that same shelf in you, there's also a Centurion skull.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at that. Very nice.
I mean, the eyes aren't normally part of it. These are just like
you can pull them
rubber
out.
Balls, shaped like eyes that I just put in there for funny.
Oh, oh, that's cool. It fits. It actually looks like as if it is on there. How many eyeballs do you have?
I think I have about 4 others in addition to these.
So you have like 10-ish. I see. That's cool.
I also have this from ancient times.
Let's see. I can't.
An Xbox 360 faceplate of Soul Calibur 4.
Nice.
My boys, there's Nightmare with the power button and there's Siegfried. Soul Calibur is actually one of those series where it's like, because two of my favourite characters in my mains are Siegfried and Nightmare. So it's really cool that it's really cool because the characters that are going to get the most focus are obviously going to be those two.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can kind of see it more with the claws and stuff like that. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Did you just see dog flipping the finger towards us?
But no idea why. I think he's just jealous of my Soul Calibur Xbox 360 faceplate.
Y'all didn't do anything wrong. I just wanted to flip it all off for no reason while I was on the phone.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
I couldn't even hear what y'all were saying.
I was curious about the skull. Yeah, like is that based off of anything, or is it just like funny looking skulls or cool looking skulls?
Just cool looking skulls. That's
nice. They do look pretty cool. But what I was saying was, are you caught up on the latest episode, like with the white hair girl? Like she shows up.
I don't think so. Then it must have just happened.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, I was saying like even the dog in the show like has done nothing since his debut appearance, despite being able to see like the future. He's still doing nothing, and I'm like, they really just gave him a dog, and just have him just be in the house. Like he doesn't get to even do anything anymore. And same with like Yor's brother. He just shows up for puns, despite him being like literally the biggest threat to like the husband in the room. But he does like nothing. And I'm like, come on, like you're setting it all up, but then you're not using it for anything. And I don't know. I don't want it to be too serious, but like it's the whole fun of the show.
Yeah, I want more of that shenanigans too. But at the same time, like because Snake has read the manga, so he probably knows more about this. But what I have heard is that the manga is like way more leaning towards the comedic side, whereas the anime does try to make it more slice of lifey, where like you try to like add more character to these characters, which don't know if that helps or doesn't help in the situation.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and I heard an arc is coming up. Is that true, Snake, or do you know anything?
You mean for the anime or the manga? Because the manga's in the middle of an arc right now. I'm not quite sure whereabouts it'd be, and there are a few arcs. Like every so often they'll have like a big multi-chapter one. There's a really fun one on a boat.
I've heard about the boat, and I've heard people say you can even make a movie out of that or something. So yeah, we'll see where that goes.
It wouldn't surprise me if they did go that direction, like Spy Family the movie.
So
and it's like
big,
the boat arc, which would be kind of interesting, just because that arc is focused on Yor.
Oh,
like
nice.
the other two are very much like in supporting roles. So it'd be interesting if the first Spy Family movie ended up being adapted in an arc that is about the third most important of the three main characters.
And yeah, she out of all the like arcs in the show, she's definitely like the least one, because mostly we follow Twilight in terms of his stuff, and then Anya is obviously also the main character too. So
because those two are more central to the actual narrative. Like Yor probably won't be like super important to the central narrative unless she gets hired to assassinate Agent Twilight.
That would be interesting.
Which I'm sure that'll happen eventually, because that seems like, I mean, whether or not it results in them learning about each other or just narrowly avoiding that. Like he happens to have a mask on, like, or he's disguised as someone else, and like she's got a mask on too or something for convenient reasons.
Yeah, we'll see. I enjoy the show, but yeah, I do wish for more eventually. Yeah,
because it's been focusing a lot on Anya, which I get, but as a result, we never get to see like. I thought it was cool how the dad was like the master of disguise and how he'd use it to like get out of every situation and stuff. Like that was cool to me. He's like barely gotten to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what's going on? And Yor, I guess, just isn't killing people right now because she's gone fully into the wife role, I guess.
At least not on screen.
That's what I thought too, but I'm wondering if she's even supposed to be I think canonically she's not even doing missions right now, but I could be wrong. Because she seems to spend all day at home.
Caught that much. I mean, the boat arc is her on the job. Like that's why that focuses on her.
Is this boat going to be more controversial than the school days boat?
Nice boat.
Nice boat.
Does Sonic know that one or not? Okay.
I know school days. I know the.
You know the boat. Okay, good. I hope we confused everybody watching, and they're so alienated right now.
Have you just seen School Days? Like the anime?
I've seen people talk about the whole entire show, so I know how fucking horrible that thing is, basically.
It's only known for the ending anyway. I've watched it in college,
it's only known for the ending.
I was college watching, which means only half watching, like you're mostly working, but like your side eye is catching it. And I only was watching it because I wanted to show my roommate the crazy ending, and I was wondering if he didn't know what the last episode was, what would his reaction be to this totally mundane show just going over the top, balls to the walls, ridiculous what the fuck, like in the last episode. Yeah. I wanted to see his reaction to that, and we got it. But oddly enough, he seemed to freak out more at the possibility that the random girl was pregnant than he did the murders. He was more scared about that.
Is she pregnant? Is she pregnant?
Is she?
No.
Is she?
That
he
show
just
was
freaked out when she
basically
was
just
yeah.
dude fucks everybody and then finally gets fucked by him.
Finally has consequences.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like, I guess, a more realistic take on the harem genre.
Oh yeah, basically in a way, yeah.
Because the original visual novel had these like three like just crazy endings. Like there is one where the one girl who stabs him to death. There's one where the other girl jumps off a building in front of them, and you don't see it, but you can hear her head explode as she hits the concrete right in front of them. And there's one where that girl slices the other one's throat with a saw, and they really leaned into that with a re-release which added 4 more endings, one of which had both girls die apparently.
I heard
not
there's
seen
like
that, seen
so many
those.
re-releases and like so many like just bad endings, like 10 or something. But there's only there is one good ending from what I've heard.
I've not heard about that one, but it is common for visual novels too.
Yeah, I mean,
it's common for visual novels to have more roots when they re-release, particularly back in the day when it'd come out on PC with sex scenes, and then when porting it to like PS2 or PSP, you can't have that.
Oh,
so
that's
they'd have to they'd remove the sex scenes and replace them with like other routes, other characters you can go out with. Like Shuffle was one where it's like, they got all the sex scenes gone. Well, now you can date this character, you can fuck the teacher. Like, stuff like that.
sounds like the fucking Sims, man. You can make a baby with Grim Reaper. You can.
I mean, Fate Stay Night did that actually, where the original release was like had sex scenes, but they removed and recontextualized those scenes to be something else. So it's like, instead of the protagonist has to fuck Saber to save her life, it's like, well, now he has to do this ritual thing to save her life.
Okay.
I mean, they're still on a bed in a conveniently found bed that they do this thing on, and like she's clearly getting flustered and such, but they had to tone it down because you can't
Such
have
a
the sex
Japanese
scenes.
story to be like, sweetheart, you're dying, and my dick has the cure. Such a Japanese plot. Like,
basically, I mean, it makes no sense in context, but it's funny without it.
without context is the best way to do anything. Like, it's what makes it the most funny.
School Day, interestingly, actually had a manga version, and the manga actually tried to make the protagonist likable. Like he actually cares about them, and he's like. When he gets stabbed and put in the hospital at the end, it's because one of the girls is trying to stab the other, and he gets in the way to stop the stabbing and gets stabbed himself.
And didn't get isekai'd. God damn it.
But I mean, that character though, he's apparently made even more despicable in the spin-off, because there is an alternate universe spin-off prequel. And he shows up in it, and one of the girls you remember has like a younger sister who's like 6.
Oh no, I don't like where this is going.
I'm not going to go any further. You can imagine what happens, and it doesn't involve murder, but I feel like he should have been murdered after that.
Oh,
and I'm
my gosh!
And it's like, yeah, like it really just feel like they saw the reactions people had. People like, this guy's despicable. He's an absolute piece of shit. And also, wow, the murder scenes are so crazy. And so everything after that is like, let's lean into that and go even
take it
further.
A step further. Yeah.
Exactly.
Which
just like any good YouTuber, what video did good? Okay, only that from now on. This is what you get.
How dare you, TrueUnderDawg? I can only make sucks videos. I know. Jeez.
Hey, I mean, I hop onto any trend that I can get too. The latest one I've been doing that gets people excited is
We then started talking about Mortal Kombat stuff for 2 hours. Stay tuned for the next episode, where we actually talk about Mortal Kombat stuff. Sorry.